Good evening, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Happy steamy Tuesday. Feels a little bit too steamy to be talking about Christmas, but that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. Hello to everyone who is tuning in. We've got Debbie and Jen and a bunch of other people watching. This week we kicked off Christmas in July, and yes, it is the start of the festive season. New products are coming in. We need to make some extra room. And one of the special buys that Matt brought in for this Christmas in July event, I guess you want to call it, is some amazing quick card kits from Hunky Dory. We've got 6 different designs. Darlene's got lots of things to share with you tonight. So I'm just going to turn the camera over. She's been playing with these, and she and I were chit-chatting as well and have a bunch of ideas to share with you. And they are great for Christmas cards, but they're also great for other things. So Darlene, it is all yours.
Thank you, Sherry. So I am here to show you the Hunky Dory. It's a lot of fun. As Sherry says, there is 6 collections. So just to give you an overview, it's like a sneak peek to your What's New Tomorrow. We have Classic Christmas, which has these nice classic images with the door, the little kids peeking out, there is the 3 wise men. So this is Classic Christmas. We have Cute Christmas, more cutesy. I really like this one. Very, very cute. Like we have the Yeti. We have little Santa and reindeer. So it's more playful. Really, really love how this one looks. Here's another one called Christmas Cuddles. It has more of the different animals as well as their Santa in trekking through the snow. Very cute. So while I show you a little bit about these, each of these sets makes 16 cards. There's 8 designs, times it by 2, so you get 16 of them. So lots and lots of cards. Here is one called Classic Christmas. This one we had Sue do some samples for us. So just a quick look. I don't want to spend too much showing you, but how easy these cards are and how beautiful they are when put together. Very, very easy. If you're just doing straight out from the card kit, all you need is adhesive and a trimmer, and you're all set to go. So I will show you how to put one together, and I will show you how to level it up and make some other things with it. So just a quick look at what Christmas Classic looks like. There's too many. Yep.
Inez says that she's happy to see this live because she's had her eyes on these kits. Awesome. So happy to show you lots of great ideas for this.
Yes, they're quite fun, and there's a lot of them. It's just picking. Well, you can grab all 6 for sure, but it's picking the one that really calls out to you because honestly, all of them are so adorable. This is called Snowy Christmas. Love the penguins, and you can see how there's a little bit of animals. There's the children in most of them. There's either Santa or a night scene or the reindeers. There is a religious one, whether it's the nativity scene or angel choir members. So you'll see some of those. This one we also have a sample. So a quick look. Love how the cards come together, and they each one has different sentiments that you can put on the cards. You can pick and choose and different elements. So I will show you how to create one in a second. So really, really cute cards. I love the variety of sizes. Some are rectangles, some are squares. Very, very nice. So this was called Snowy Christmas. And the one I played with, so those 2 Sue made up for us. I am playing with Christmas Wonderland. And here are some samples. I didn't do all 8 because I have them aside just to show you how to put them together. But Love how you could do it as a side fold. There's some that is top fold. Here is another, here's a rectangular one. So lots and lots of different elements. And the nice thing about it is that you can do anything with it in decorating terms. So I use Christmas Wonderland. I am going to put this aside. And what it is that when you open up your package, you get these individual sheets that have these little punch outs. So they're perforated and you can punch them out. The only thing that you need to cut is the card base and these little strips over here. So here is one that I am going to show you.
Continue, Darlene. I think I know the answer to this, but I have two people asking the same question.
Yep.
Do they come with envelopes?
They do not come with envelopes. It's just the cards. So you get 16 cards. You do have to provide your own envelopes. Some of them do fit in an A2 size card. If you have an envelope maker, that's the best thing because that square is smaller. I can't remember how big that square is. Hold on. It's slightly smaller than the 6x6 envelopes we had. So this is 5x5. So it could fit in a 5x7 envelope. It will just be a tad, but if you really want a square, I say having an envelope maker or something to make envelopes with it.
The Spellbinder scoreboard also has that envelope making tool as
hidden
well.
Behind.
Yes.
And this one is just 4x6. So slightly bigger than an A2 size card. It's more of a postcard size, well, a photo size, so a little bit slightly bigger than that as well. So I punched this one out. I am going to show you how quick and easy it is to do one of these. So first off is to punch these elements out. They always have one big icon. They also have these little sentiments. You can use them all or pick and choose which ones you want. Sometimes I use one, sometimes I use two, and I will show you the packaging in a second. What I really love is this part. I know some of us have our own little stamps, but it actually came with a little punch out that says handmade with care by, that you can stick on the back of your card and you can write your name on it. So I thought that was handy, and it matches the design of the card that you're making. So these leftover elements do not cut out. So, sorry, do not punch out. So I do a cut and I do save paper, and I'll tell you why in a second. So first thing is I always cut off this big bottom part here. So in the trimmer, they do have a little line, cutting line for you to know where to cut because you don't want that showing. So I'm just putting it in the track, and that is garbage. You could keep these elements, but I didn't use them. But I did use this part in a second. I will show you. So this is your card base. And these over here are half perforated and half not. They left the ends together. So I just took my scissors. You can take your snips, take your trimmer and cut them out. But I'll show you something. Each one that you cut out, you are left with these leftover pieces that are technically garbage because they were the outsides, but I kept them. So I have a little bin full of them, and they always give you two designs that are used for the cards. Sometimes you use both, sometimes you use one. Whatever I don't use, I keep it in my pile there, because this is what you can do with your leftovers. Is I put adhesive on the top of my card, and I stuck all the strips down, changing up, and then I cut out all the extras. I'm saving them because those little extras are good for the corner pieces, but you make a pretty straight card with all those leftover pieces. So some of them you see will have the double border because it was meant for using the card. And some of them I use from the leftover piece without throwing it in the garbage, such as this one here. So when I lined it up, see this one here, I lined it up close to another silver. So you can't tell that there was no silver edging on that one. That was really scrap that I kept. So keep your extras because it's a card front right there. So with a card like this, there is really no inspiration sheet. They only give you this front page where you could pretty much see how to decorate your card. Unfortunately, some of the bottom is hiding, so you will guess or create your own. I do change it up. Sherry and I are pretty much the same. We go rogue. We don't follow the same. But this card over here is the winter scene. And where is it? Oh, it's this one up here. So it is a vertical card. See, as you can see, I can't see part of that bottom there. I know this is at the bottom. And they did add 2 of these. They added this one above, and they added this one right on top. So let's stick those down. Oops, I need the stripe one first. I'm not putting adhesive all the way down because I know that it is going on a diagonal. I don't need the whole piece. So this one, I want to make sure it goes over so it covers that whole bottom. I don't want to cover too much of my flowers. I do need a little bit here. And then the other one will just go on top, right over here. So you're using those 2 borders. You could put this in your trimmer, but knowing me, I like to take my scissors and just snip these off. These are too small to reuse, so I did chuck them. But if it was any bigger, I do keep them because that way you could do stripe cards with all your extras. And this little one here. So we created that extra layer there. I did not add foam to that because we are adding the focal point on it. And this is the piece that I want popped up. So here I am going to grab my strips. I'm going to put it on a diagonal. Oops. And I will put one here. I always try to not cover the whole thing, but a little bit more in the center so it doesn't collapse when you're doing it. Has anyone grabbed these card kits and added it to their pile? So, and then here is where you can look at the picture and you can tell that it's pretty close to the top. You can copy as is, but it doesn't mean that you can't put it down here. You can go rogue. The first cards I usually like to do the way it's intended. Sometimes I will move like the sentiment, but the second set of cards is where I like to go rogue. So here in the sample looks like they use a special delivery, and it was just placed on top of that the focal point. You could put it at the bottom. So I will follow as is, and this one I will pop up just on the right hand side because the left side is going to be attached to the focal point that's already raised. So I'm going to just add a little bit to the right so it doesn't collapse. Put a little bit of adhesive on the opposite end and stick this. Actually, they have it covering this carriage here. So that was basically their front. You can use, they have all these little tags as well that you can add as dimension. Here is another greeting that I'll just keep aside because you could use it for something else. And I like to attach the handmade by at the back. You could put at the bottom, you could put at the top. There is no right or wrong. So here is one card, fast. See how fast that is just to put that together? Didn't take me long. So really just a couple of supplies and then you're done. So now I grab the second one here, right over here. And I'm going to show you how we can elevate that card in a different way. So let's say you want to make bigger cards, for instance, a 5x7. And you're looking at how you could use these elements on a 5x7. So I'm doing the same thing, punching these all out. Whatever's extra, we could save for another card. Ellen. Too bad I haven't seen any Halloween kits for these. And we are going to cut that out. So once again, I'm following those cut lines. So nice. And here is those 2 pieces. I am going to cut again.
Darlene,
Yes.
within a kit, are all the colors fairly cohesive? So if you used a sentiment from one card and you had a leftover something, could you use that on a different card?
They are pretty much, I would say, in the same theme. So this particular line, you'll see that it has a lot of purples and blues. So they do sort of work together. But what I like is that because some of their pictures have the same color, it works together. Or you can select, like there is some cards that are darker, like this is a night sky one. And then you have this one that's also a night sky. So some of the cards you could interchange and work, but they have almost the same feel. Well, this particular one had the same feel. Some of the kittier ones is a little bit more tricky because they have different color palettes, but I could say that you can group them. Like the squirrel and the dogs have similar red and brown tones. There's 3 cards here with the blue tones, or here you have a little bit of purple. So you can group them around and
Okay,
use
thank
them.
you.
Especially like these ones here. They're tags that I didn't use, but they look very, very similar. Like some are night sky, some are like day, but they have all that same purpley tone in that I'm going to use on a card front later on. So let's start with here. And where was my 5x7 card base? So here's a 5x7 card base, and this is what you can do to change up the size or even just change up the look. So I didn't fold this because now we're not using it as a card front, but we're going to use it, well, sorry, not as a card base, but using it as a card front. And you could do the exact, you can pick colors to mat it, but let's see.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Is the card base glossy?
It is a glossy. This it's a cardboard, so the actual printed side has a little slippery finish. It's not shiny as like, let's say, a glossy photo. The back side is more rough, so easier to write. But this is I would say a semi-glossy texture to it. It is slippery. Has like a slippery finish to it.
Thank you.
So I'm going to change it up. I did pick some colored cardstock that I wanted to highlight and really make this as my focal point. So I pulled in some of that green here. I did bring up also a red, but I think the green really pops. This is called forest green. It makes this pop up a lot. So I am going to cut it to 5 inches. By 7, so I gotta pull out the arm. And we're just going to make that piece pop. Okay, so that is going to go here. So let me glue that down because I know I'm going to use this as. And then we're going to cut that panel down a little bit, because I love how that pops. So now I want it, I think I'm just going to, so we know it's 5x7, and I want a little bit of that hint coming through. So let's do 4.5. I'm not minding the triangles. If you're someone that needs equal triangles on top and bottom, then you might want to measure and cut from the middle. But I have a little bit of peeking. This one will be a little, oh, wrong side. I'm going to cut this side because I don't want to cut off that piece. So 6.5. I'm just going 1/2 inch on both sides. Don't throw anything out because those you could use later on for a different card. I keep all mine. And we will put this here. Actually, it ended up being very close in size together. I'm ignoring that folded line because I didn't really fold on it. All you have is that indented part for the card. But we're going to hide that. That's the best part of here. And here is where I can hide that line and no one will know what was there. So I could use, I think I'll do this one here. Or with my stash, this is a good way to show you that any of the other lines would work. I do have this snowflake from one of the other card fronts. Or I have this snowflake, which I like how subtle that snowflake is. So let's use that one. It has a little bit of that darker purpley blue. And I'm just going to probably go over. Should I feel like more like a belly band? So I'm actually going to put it edge to edge. I didn't put enough adhesive, so I'm just going to stick there and cut off this end here. And let's see. This is now where, because you're not following, we have to design what we're going to do. I'm going to see if I can use that piece for a little bit of texture. Here's where my layering. So this is the handmade one. I'm going to hide that underneath. Oopsies. I think I like it down in this corner. I'm going to pop this one up. So same thing, I like to go diagonal and then two little ones on each side so it doesn't collapse. So I am using two strips at the same time just to create a thicker foam piece. And that one I'm going to go right over here. And there's all these little tags. So the tags are usually 1 cm piece and then an icon that's taken out of that picture. So you could use it or not. If you have a whole stash now, you could probably change it up a little bit. Now, which greeting do I want? Maybe we did special delivery. Maybe I will do. I feel like you won't be able to read that. Is there another sentiment I could use? This is now where I look and see, switching it up a little bit. So this one pops more. This was intended for this card, but I feel like if I put it here, it's going to get washed away. So I'm picking one from another set. It's darker blue. It has more of a pop. And I think I'm going to put it at this corner. So I'm popping it up. And if you have like twine, you can put it through the hole. Each of them do have a little hole. I don't know if it needs an extra sentiment. I might leave that, but I do. Let's see. No, I think I just like this. So I like it the way it is, but I am going to. So I brought in my gems from Spellbinders. I love the variety, how there's the pearls as well as the gems. For this particular series, I was loving using the pearls. So this is a silver pearl. I just like how it made it look very classy. And do I do it on this side or the opposite side? I think I'm going to do the opposite side. A hard choice of decorating. And I do things in threes, and I am going to pick 3 different sizes. I'll do the same on the other side. I did like a little triangle of 3s. It's not the same size. So I'm going to move a little bit. Will it come off? I put it too high. Come on. Restick that. Talking to my gems. 3. There. So here is some of the same elements and changing up the size. So now I have the original, which is a 4x6, and now I made it bigger. So now I have a 5x7 card, and you still have that focal point. So I picked silver gems because the outline of these are in silver. This set has a silver border around it. Some of the other sets have gold. Let me see if I can pull out the gold one. Is this the one? So they all have different finishes with all that nice brushed metal. So the silver versus the gold. Okie dokie. So that is one. Now let's show you another one. So from this set, we also have this one here, which is, I love that. It reminds me of a Thomas Kincaid photo, one of my favorite painters. That's what this one reminded me of. And let's change this up. Oops, wrong one. I took the score one. There's that. These elements. Okie dokie. Let's do a fun fold for this. So there's 2 ways you could do a fun fold. You could for sure cut the let's call this card base down and cover your panels of your gatefold, but you could also use this and create a gatefold. So let me take these pieces out. It's beautiful. I think you could tell why I gravitated to this set if you don't know me by now. They come off really nicely, which is nice. I'm going to put my strip there. So here, if it was 4x6, I'm going to ignore that middle because now I'm going to create, this now is going to become a gatefold. So the middle here is going to be untouched. I am going to score the sides. For peace of mind, I'm going to make sure this is 8 inches. So half is at 4, so we need to score 2 and 2 to create those side panels. So I got to remember I need my white one as my score. So I'm going to do 2 inches on the left side and 2 inches on the right side. So I just flipped it the other way so I don't have to do math. I just know I needed 2 inches on the left, 2 inches on the right. Oh, and I think I need to push down a little bit harder. So this, because I don't see it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you see your score marks. Because it's a very heavyweight paper, I'm not sure what the weight is. It's not heavy like 100, but you don't want it to crease. So those fold marks is very important. And there. So I created my gatefold. I'm going to use my fingers to burnish because I didn't bring my tool. So it is still a 4x6 card, but we just shaped it another way. You can for sure cover that with one of these as an extra element. That's cute too. Or you could leave it as is, but as long as you're not folding on it, it's nice and sturdy. But let's decorate this. I'm just pushing it down. Oops, sorry. And let's cut these elements here. So this one here, so I'm keeping all these elements. This one, I didn't do a sample. I'm actually using the piece that I put to the side. But this is the card that we're making. So they had it landscape. They had one of the strips on the side here, the other one on the opposite side. They put 2 tags and they used 2 sentiments. So they really used up all these pieces. But I'm going to change it up. So we could leave that as is. Ooh, we're going to do a different kind of gatefold, a sideways gatefold. So that's going to go there. I do like the silver trimming, but I think it needs to pop a little bit. So this is where tracing comes into play. And I think I'm going to use indigo. Indigo is one of my favorite simple stories color vibe paper. You could draw, but I'm going to freehand this. I'm going to paste it right at this corner. You could leave it as a rectangle, but I do like the shapes. So I'm going to sort of fuzzy cut my way here and create a little tiny border just so there's a pop of color. I love to fuzzy cut, so even something like this. I'm just going and leaving like let's say an 1/8 of a border. And I'm following those little curves. I have to concentrate before I miss. But just a little bit of a pop of color. And so you could for sure leave it as a rectangle or leave it as is, but I really wanted that silver to shine. Because it's almost like you're blinging your cards up, but with that nice edge. So let's curve that. Throw out my garbage. Oopsies. Okay, so this keeps opening because I don't have my tool, but that's going to be a closure. So now as you can see, that blue just kind of lets it pop a little bit on the side. And I am going to glue that top. So because it is part of an opening, like that, you only want the top part with the adhesive. So I have 2 rows. I know that I'm not going past the middle. Like that. And before I stick this here, maybe we can use these elements. So what do I have here? I have this one. Shade. Now it's deciding which one. I do like this one. So I'm going to put score tape or any adhesive. Not to the eye, it's going to make it look like it's centered, but really not centered. I'm going to put it, whoops, talking, right to the edge of that top flap. And then cut off the extra. So to the eye, it looks like it's sort of in the middle, but not really. But it just gives you that hint of color. It looks like a little envelope now. Could make this into a gift card holder if you glued this bottom piece down on the side. It could be like a little gift card holder, or for money and check. So either way. And let's see, now I need a sentiment. Wishing you a relaxing season, or from our home to yours. I do like this one here, but I feel like you can't see it. So I might do the same thing and just put a piece of blue. Okay, now let's see if I can cut this on the machine. This is when you need your guillotine out to cut this. Because now I have to eyeball it here. Oh, not bad. So there is my sentiment. And I am going to, I think, I'll put it down here. And the reason for that is that if I want this to stay closed, we can do like a little, give it a little bit of a help here. So I'm going to put my foam, oops, make sure it's close to the bottom. Similar to what you would do with an easel for it to prop up to the top. I'm doing it here. More for a closure. So then you can lift it up and then you can tuck it in to close it. So like a little closure type. And let's add some gems. I really like my gems, so let's do, because these are all going horizontal, I'm going to put these gems, actually I'm going to change up the size a little bit, going downwards. And I'll do the same on the opposite end. I think that's the same size. That one here, and this one here, and a little one here. And there's another card, a different way. You could add these elements in the inside to add some decoration for when you open the card as well. So always use your extras. I'm just going to tuck that in. So, and that's another one. So lots of fun. How's time? I could do one more. What should we do? What would you like me to do? Let's see. I have lots of extras here. So you know what? Let's work with all these leftover tags and see. There is a few sentiments and there's few icons. So let's play around with that. Do I have an A2 size card here? So you could do,
Darlene,
yeah.
I know you don't have the paper handy, but Sheila is asking if you can make a layout with the card kits.
Oh, sure. Okay, I have a few colored cardstock, so that's what we're going to use. I'm going to use what I have here. Let's see, what color cardstock did I grab? Well, let's see what will work. I did try to match colors, so I do have a midnight and pine here. And oopsies. I'm going to take off the cover sheet and see what we have here. Oh, Sheila, you're really testing me.
Well, I think it's nice that you could use the whatever was the card base. You could cut them in half and they could be photo mats.
Yeah, which is nice. So I'm just taking these apart so I can see, because, you know, I could probably use one or two and create something with it. But I need to make sure my pick, I think the midnight is the one to work with. Yeah, because I don't think the green will work. Okay. Let's see what I can do. I'm going to cut my strip off. I'm going to use the solid side of Color Vibe. So if you're not familiar with Color Vibe, they do have the tone on tone dotted on the other side. And I like the, let's see. So I'm going to use the snow. I'm going to create a winter scene. So this is the same one I just used a while ago. It has the snow print on that. So let me cut this card base down. And I'm going to create cut this because I want to be able to use it across. And if I remember correctly, this is 6 inches. So if I cut it at 3 inches, it should be even. There's going to be some leftover, but that's okay. So don't mind the look for now. Let's add some color to this page. And let's see, that blue works. And this one over here has the snowbank at the bottom, so I'm going to cut that out. Oh. I have to be careful I don't cut that word out. Let me push that out. So I need to cut all the way across. And where's my scissors? Somewhere in this mess. And I'm just going to trim some of that snow out. The nice thing is that you get 2 of each in a set. So if you want to create a double page layout using the same ones, you can. So my snowbank doesn't go all the way across, but that's okay. I could put something on that side. And I did bring in some glitter paper, so let's add some shine for more snow. So now let's add, I'm going to freehand, actually let's cut this down. I'm going to pick about 3.5. So that way, if I need an extra piece, I have an extra piece. Okay, and here is where I just draw. So a lot of my layouts is me creating scenes, and as you can see, that's sometimes where mine goes to, is creating those scene type layouts. I just need an extra piece here. So I'm going to do another hilly bump. A small snowbank. Some added texture. I might leave it as a gray sky and then use these as photo mats. So I cut them at, so they're at 3 right now. So I could do 3x4s. Let's cut one. So 2 there. Let's pick another background for a bigger photo. And picking similar colors. So this one's good for a bigger photo. But not too big. So I'm going to slice it down. So to help me make my decision, I'm just going to slice off the blue on both sides. That will give me about, that is 6 inches by 6.5. So I could do a 4x6 photo. Actually, it's 6.5. So I could do 4.5. That way I could have a little bit of a mat for a 4x6 photo. Hold on, I'm just thinking in my head, because the worst thing is when you cut it, you're like, oh no, can't work. Actually, I like my photo. Okay, let me do my snowbank first. Oh my goodness, I can't find anything on this table anymore. So let's do the sparkly snowbank. And I'm going to tuck the other one underneath. I'll cut off the extra after because I want some of that peak there. Let's add where. Actually, the hard decision. No, I think I like it this corner. So I'm going to put that here, but I'm going to raise it so I can tuck. I'm putting foam just at the bottom so I can still put things behind, whether it's critters or other elements. Taking off the foam backings. Oops. And these 2 pieces. The purple. No, I'm just going to leave it the gray skies. And then let's see which icons I can use. So here is where I would look for the big images. You could fuzzy cut or use it as is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this house. I'm a fuzzy cutter. I'm going to. The birch trees at the back is a little bit harder to fuzzy cut, so I'm just going to go do the big tree at the front. And I'm gonna pop it right at that corner. Tuck this. I haven't glued down my photos yet, my photo mats. Playing around to see. I think this one I'll do upright. And these two I'll do on a little angle. So these ones, I'm gonna switch. This one has the white here. I'll do the white on the bottom so it's a little bit different in distribution of color. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. And I am going to cut our little snowmans. This snowman is playing the violin. Cut around the hat. It does have a little bit of like a stack of presents and snow. So I'm going to just do a little bubble there. Put them here. Not sure where I want them yet. Let's see. I like this house here too. I feel like if I put Mr. Snowman in this corner, Mr. and Mrs., I could do another house in the background here. I won't have the carolers, but I wanted this, like, I guess it's a church. And just cutting around. It has a nice Christmas tree. Oops, I don't want to cut the kid's head off. A little village here, maybe the village. There. Feel like Santa needs something here, so that's when I will check for another similar background color. Just to extend that snow a little bit. It feels off that it's just hanging. I might do this village a little bit up more. And I could most likely use this one. It's very similar. All the other ones are too blue. So let me cut a piece of that one. Just need a small piece here. So let me just cut straight down. And it just goes up to here. So make it look nicer. It does have a little slopey hill when I cut that card front. So I'm going to do the same thing and pop it up there. And oops, this backer is fighting me here. And it just needs to go, I'm tucking it underneath so at least it doesn't look too off. And what I could do is take an ink pad, like a light blue, and just go over it to bring in some of that blue. But it's all good. And maybe I'll put my lovey-dovey snowman. Could do it right at this corner here. Pop them up. Now, the only thing is, oh, I know what I could use for a heading. Hold on. For a title. Doo-doo-doo. I'm going to put this here. What else can I add here? Let me see. Mailbox. I think this is her, so the village is cut off, so I won't be able to get a whole thing. And then the other one has a bird. So now for a title, this is where I'm going to use Christmas, Winter, Wonderland, or even Wonderland. So we need a title. And might as well use this. Let's see if I can make it look pretty without cutting off the letters. And that's a little curvy. Now, let's see if I can get this bottom one. So even if I don't do Christmas, you could do Wonderland. Or let's cut this down. I think it'll be too hard to go closer to Christmas. Let's see. If not, I won't use it. Let's see if I can go a little bit closer using this. Okay. Much better. I have to do it for Wonderland. Just go a little bit closer. Without cutting the letters. And let's see. Snip. Too bad I don't have the word winter, because Winter Wonderland would be. And I'm going to bring. See, this is why it's good not to put too much adhesive. Oops, the foam is stuck. I need space for my title, so I'm just bringing it a little bit lower. And that way I could do a title. I'm going to pop it up. And then same thing for Wonderland. White on the background will look good too. Ellen said to splatter some white, because then it will really look like snowflakes. So I can still do that. I would just have to mask the photos, or even though it's only a background. So if I just splatter on top, it would be okay too, but that would be cool. And I am going to, of course, add some gems because gems are fun. trying to find something small that will hide that, like a bird. But the bird on the other one was too big. I am going to do just a subtle corner, almost like a photo corner. Oopsies. So I'm using the big one and 2 little ones just to do a little corner, triangular corner. Oops, that's not even triangular. And do another one. Oopsies. Something about that silver. I really like how they added silver to this collection. I'm just adding that little triangular of pearls. Oops, that one. And one more. Let me take a quick look. Oh, this bird is perfect. The one here is too big. So you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Doo-doo. And if I really wanted to, there is Santa in his sleigh. You could have him at the top there. So we could put that in too. So I'm going to get little birdie to perch on here just to help mask some of those pieces off. Do I have a smaller? Where that little swirl for the card. I'm really perched here. Oops, wrong spot. Let's go higher. So it looks like it's sitting. Oh, come on, sit down. And so he's tiny, but he would be cute just, you know, or even having the other. I think I've already used that card. Did I already use that card? I think I may have used that card already earlier, but that would be cute to add Santa. This one's too small. Yeah, I think he's too small. He will. But there you go. A simple layout using the card kit. So Sheila, I hope I made you proud there. Okay, that was a hard one. Especially when limited colors on the side here. So let me just clean this off and I will bring out the pack. So the pack I did was this one here called Christmas Wonderland. No longer looks like that. And from this collection, we had some cards. So I will just cover the side here. And here is using some of those. These were the original cards. These are us making it bigger for 5x7 and doing a little bit of a side gatefold here. And yeah, I think that is it. So I must have another Santa somewhere because I only have one card with Santa. So Santa's somewhere here. So if I find it, I'll just quickly cut him out and add him to the top, but I can't find it. And here is that panel that I used using all those extra strips. So I have a lot more extra strips and I could do another card front. Quite fun. I just love how that looks. Doesn't have to be diagonals. You could probably do, you know, horizontal or vertical stripes depending on what you're doing. But even adding like one of these, if you want nice and simple, you can pop that up or even do another oval with a solid color and then raise it, and there's another card done. So I hope you enjoyed that and add some of these card kits to your stash. It's quite fun.
Well, Darlene, I think if anything, you showed us how far these kits can go, and they can work for not just cards, but any kind of project. You could make tags out of them. I've for those who are still watching us, I have challenged Darlene to do a planner spread.
Yep.
Using the card kits, and I think you can just, if you treat it as paper and treat it as ephemera, you would use it just the same way that you would use ephemera. But for those of you who are card makers, this is a great way to get your creative juices flowing and say, oh, okay, I like how they did this, I like how they did that, and then put your own spin on things. So
exactly. Oh, found him. I had him in this corner. Ellen said she scared it away, but I found him.
You found him.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. And hopefully this inspires you to add one or two of the card kits to your collection. It's never too early to start making your holiday cards. And even if you only have a few people to give them to, these are a great way to get you started.
Very easy to get the kids or grandkids to do too.
Oh, great point. Great point. Very easy for new crafters, for younger crafters, all that good stuff. Well, thank you everyone for watching. You have a great rest of your week and stay cool. Just think of all these snowy images and hopefully that'll cool you down.
You said it, Sherry. You said you wouldn't.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.